Do you ever feel overwhelmed by the growing challenges of the modern world and wonder, how do the most successful people know what to focus on to achieve their goals? In this summary, I'll share with you the key ideas from the book High Performance Habits, written by Brendon Burchard, one of the most influential coaches in the world, who over the last decades has studied the most successful people in different areas of life, and discovered that surprisingly, their success can be boiled down to just 6 habits. And in the following minutes I'll share, step by step, how you too can apply them easily in your daily life in order to feel more prepared to face both the present and the future. Habit number 1. Seek clarity. Unhappiness is not knowing what we want, and killing ourselves to get it. Have you ever become obsessed with a goal only to achieve it and realize it doesn't make you happy? And in the process, you've neglected what truly matters in life, like your health or your relationships. Brendon Burchard realized in his research that the most successful and happy people don't just set goals on New Year's. They're constantly calibrating the compasses of their lives to stay on the right track despite the chaos of the modern world. The analogy that has helped me most in seeking clarity is the following. If life is a game, what is it about for you? How do you want to play it? And how do you want to feel throughout the game? Brendon recommends developing the habit of evaluating at least weekly, for key aspects of your life. Number 1. Who do you want to be and how do you want to live? Number 2. How do you want to interact with other people? Number 3. What are the key skills you are currently developing and those you need for the future? And number 4. What impact, contribution, or influence do you want to have in the world around you? Habit number 2. Generate energy. Do you often find yourself lacking the energy or motivation to do the important things you'd like to do? Think about all the things you do on a normal day. Transitioning from one activity to the next is very draining, and usually we accumulate stress little by little throughout the day. That's why if I could only take one thing from the High Performance Habits book, it would be the following practice to recharge your energy and focus. Every hour, or at the end of an activity, pause for a moment to take a deep breath and release the stress and tensions you've built up in the last few minutes. Then, briefly set and visualize your intentions for the next activity. For example, how do you want your next conversation to unfold? How do you want to make your loved ones feel when you get home? Habit number 3. Raise necessity. Think about those days when the alarm goes off, and even though you're very tired, you get up to go to school, work, or an early trip. Now think about weekends or vacations when you'd like to get up a little earlier to make the most of the day, but you simply don't find the strength or motivation to do it. The thing is, in the second case, even though we'd like to get up a bit earlier, we simply don't feel like it's really necessary. And this can be applied to any other area of life. Extraordinary people know that there will always come a time when they simply won't feel like giving their best, so they've developed the habit of deliberately increasing necessity. Let's look at the 3 main ways proposed in the High Performance Habits book to boost your motivation. First, there's intrinsic motivation, which leads us to give our best, simply because it's our identity, because we have high standards and consider ourselves high performers. This is what we do. However, this type of motivation is harder for most people, so it's important to also use the help of external forces. Did you know that most of us have more motivation to take our family members to the hospital, or even our pets to the vet, than to go to the doctor ourselves when we're sick? This is because most of the time, we do more for others than for ourselves. So Brendon Burchard recommends asking yourself the following question. Who needs me to give my best right now? The last way to increase motivation can be the most powerful for many people, and that's to feel publicly accountable. If you've told your friends and family that you're going to the gym every day, chances are you won't want to let them down. It's also very helpful to be part of a group of people used to giving their best. If you join a group of runners who train every day at 6 in the morning, once you feel part of the group, you won't want to let them down. And this public accountability works even better when there are deadlines. For example, most runners are much more motivated to train when they have a fixed date for a marathon. So, if we're not finding the motivation or discipline to give our best. It's highly likely that this issue is related to one of the first 3 high-performance habits. Either we're not regularly taking the time to clarify our goals and how we want to live our lives, or we're not generating enough energy, either because we're not taking proper care of our health, or because we're accumulating too much stress throughout the day, or we're not remembering the reasons why it's necessary to give our best. Habit number 4. Increase productivity. Do you sometimes feel like despite being incredibly busy you're not really making significant progress towards your goals? Or at least not fast enough? Nothing is less productive than to make more efficient what should not be done at all. Productivity is not about working more than others or doing more things in less time. True productivity is about doing the right things in the right way. According to the author's research, here are the 3 practices that will help you the most to increase your productivity. In today's life there are thousands of things we could do each day to stay busy. How do we know what to focus our time and attention on? Once we've defined our goals, it's crucial to figure out what are the things that make the biggest difference to help us move in the right direction. True productivity is about focusing on these few priorities and ignoring the thousands of distractions disguised as opportunities. Or as Brendon puts it, keeping the main thing the main thing. And if we haven't yet discovered what those crucial activities are, then our first priority is precisely to find our priorities. The second practice involves turning our goals into concrete projects. Basically, this means breaking down our goals into the 5 main stages. It's very easy to feel overwhelmed when we don't know what to do or where to start. However, it's hard not to take action and work intentionally when we see what we have to do step by step in front of us. Once we know our priorities and have an organized plan, it's time to deliberately develop the skills we need to do our job professionally and efficiently. Just like high-performance athletes, professionals in any area of life schedule time for deliberate practice, and constantly measure their progress to identify areas where they can improve. Habit number 5. Develop influence. Knowing how to get support and help from other people not only allows us to get what we want more easily, but also makes us enjoy life more. Positively influencing others can be reduced to the following 2 things: making them feel valued and understood, and helping them change their thoughts, beliefs, ambitions, and actions, so they can become their best version. In an extremely simplified way, influence is genuinely wanting the best for others, leading by example, challenging them with compassion, and ultimately not being afraid to ask for what we want, and seek help. After all, humans love feeling useful and helping. So if you do these things right, people will not only not mind helping you, they'll do it gladly. Habit number 6. Demonstrate courage. Even the most successful people in the world face problems and moments when it seems like life becomes too difficult. The difference lies in how they react. It's important to clarify that courage is not fearlessness. It is taking action and persisting despite that fear. And in my opinion, the best way to do this is with a change of mindset or perspective about the game of life. In this case, the author of the book calls it honoring the struggle. When we feel that things are getting too difficult, we have 2 options. The first option is to waste our energy finding who is to blame, complaining about how unfair our situation is, and focusing on the problems. And even if we're right, this option paralyzes us and prevents us from living the life we want. The alternative is to accept the situation even if we don't like it or it's not fair, and invest our energy in seeking solutions rather than problems. This alternative is not as easy. At least it doesn't come very naturally to me. However, we can agree that it's a much more productive way to invest our energy. The most successful people have learned to accept and even enjoy challenges. Because in the end, it's these challenges that give meaning to the game of life and help us grow. Difficulties are an important and necessary part, not only of getting what we want, but also of becoming the people we want to be. If from now on, you feel that you're not making the progress or achieving the balance you'd like in life, Remember that you already have this guide that will allow you to identify which of these habits you need to focus on.